I've been on a journey today. I'm in Yosemite National Park, which is my favorite place on earth. It is the most sacred place I've ever been, aside from my mother's womb. And while I have some somatic living emanations of my prayers being felt through my body, and I'm still here on the living, breathing land which I'm about to leave, I want to share some of my journey. Today I went to a waterfall in a deep prayer of reconnection with nature. Having been stuck in the city for months and living this loop of feeling stuck there. And arriving to the grand majesty of Yosemite and remembering, oh my God, this is just here. This is just always here, waiting for us to come home. This towering waterfall, however many 1,000 feet high, or hundreds, I don't know. It's just flowing year-round through the seasons, through the processions of the stars. Moment by moment and droplet by droplet, this waterfall is just an endless wellspring of life, mirroring and emanating the eternal wellspring of water and love and truth, which is God. God put that waterfall there. God put this beautiful river and meadow and mountains, everything, the sun. God placed it all here, perfect and simple. And in face of that simplicity, we as human beings have chosen that wasn't enough. Have chosen to overcomplicate everything, to create internal and external machinations of absolute chaos and complications and overthinking, when all of the thinking has already been done by God. It's all perfect, perfectly curated by God, and yet we're like, no, we can do better. Fuck no, we can't. We can create. We can create art. We can express ourselves in ways that are divine and beautiful. But if it's disconnected from the divine simplicity of all things and from God Himself, then it's empty. And it's not only dead, rotten, but it is the antithesis of all of this. It is almost a metaphysical attempt to destroy all of this. Meanwhile, it's indestructible, and all of these parasitic ways of being, all of these ways of being that are severed from God, the hustle and bustle of the city, the rat race, the cages, the stories that we tell ourselves about limitation and why we can't do this, why we can't do that, control, illusory systems. I won't name them. I'm just talking about all the fuckery. And while all of that is happening all over the earth, billions of human beings completely oblivious and in their own narratives and loops and self-narrativizing loops that create the realities in which they're stuck. And they're like, oh my God, I'm stuck. While all of that is happening in billions of human minds and hearts and dreams, these waters and this pure mountain breath and this stillness and this peace and this sanctity and this simplicity are just here, unchanged, unscathed. I was going to say unbothered, but I could feel how the great mother and father are quite bothered by how their children are just like running rampant in illusions, like chickens with our heads cut off. And they're just saying like, hey, this is here. Please come back. Please come home. Please feel this. Please remember that you are this. Please find and resurrect these soulful emanations of you which are buried deep within you, which you have forgotten. But it's here. It's here and it's everywhere. And it is life. And it is alive. And it is our sustenance. That waterfall, it flows from a glacier down to the ocean. The ocean rises into vaporous mists, into clouds. The clouds bring rain and snow that turn to glaciers and nourish the waters of the world. And life burgeons into being. A trillion wildflowers and animals and water reservoirs that even go to the cities. Even the people who are disconnected, they drink this water. Emanations of the waters above, which come from God. Emanations of the waters within, which come from God. Emanation of the water, which is, in the language of elemental metaphysics, emotions. Feeling, love. These flowing waters are here. They are our tears. They are the tears of the great mother crying for her children. It felt to me like the waterfall itself was a stream of tears, simultaneously in a state of sadness and like, please, I am hurting, come back. And please, I am hurting, protect, preserve the sacred within yourself. Build systems that are built on sanctity and simplicity, not all of this illusory fucking sorrow. Deconstruct those layers and let me dissolve them. Let our tears dissolve them. But simultaneously, tears of equanimity and joy and love and peace and sanctity, the kind of crying that is in a state of ecstasy at life. Like, I am alive. This is a miracle. This is beautiful. Forgive that my voice is a little raspy. I was howling and rippling into echoes to be in communion and communication with this sacred mountain terrain and valley. These waterfalls, these waters, the ocean, the rain, they are all tears. Tears from which a lot of us are disconnected within our own hearts. So that the mother and the father are asking us to cry, to feel, to resurrect feeling instead of numbness. Yes, there is pain in this existence. Let us feel the pain rather than avoid it and perpetuate it into false systems of oblivion. Pain is passion, is pathos, is a pathway to purpose. Pain is the streaming of samsaric tears, and the other side of pain is love and joy and ecstasy. And the birth that comes from a woman in labor, entering into that portal of birth and birthing a sacred child, innocent, pure, crying. And a part of this living prayer today is that I have been living in a story and in a self-generating reality of unfelt tears, telling myself that my tears are dammed up like a dam, like damnation. And I came to the waterfall. I came to the valley. I came to the mountains. I came to these towering giants of granite and stone with the tears of the mother and the father streaming on their bodies. And I asked, what if I could just let go of all the fears, of all the stories that I've built upon my fears, fears of past pains that I've experienced in my life? What if I could just instantaneously dissolve them? Choose with my free will. I am done with these fears. I am done living in the ripples of that unfelt pain, which is what fear truly is. What if I could return to divine simplicity by very simply just letting go of the fear, just choosing, it's done, it's done. I'm no longer clinging to this fear. And as God and Goddess have it, I came down from one of the most magnificent hikes of my life. And it was essentially like, hey, you asked. You asked us to guide you into letting go of your fears. Well, you gotta feel them first. You gotta feel your fears. You gotta confront your fears. You gotta trace them somatically and transmute them into tears. And if the tears and the fears feel dammed up, that's where the prayerful, willful act of discipline and prayer and prayer and prayer and prayer and prayer and prayer and more prayer comes in. of your own willpower and devotion and volition, no matter how difficult the obstructions and obstacles and optical illusions may be. Return to prayer into heart. Return to prayer as life. Return to prayer voiced, expressed, phoneticized into tangible material reality, into sound, into self-expression, into authenticity, into authorship, into becoming the author of your own life, so that your life is no longer dictated by the inner fears and outer fears, which are the systemic ripples of those fears, but rather by choice, by willpower, by transcendental essence that says, these dams, these damnations, these pains, obliterated, dissolved by waterfalls and well springs of tears. Of prayer. Of falling to our knees. Knowing that God is the only solution.